Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, just joining us for our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. You know, I'm a big fan of the Field of Dreams adage, if you build it, they will come. But it's also important when it comes to business to be able to know what there's a market for, what there's a need for, and then to be able to create something that fills that need. Our next guest has definitely been able to do that. We're excited to welcome entrepreneur Philip Lee to our program. Philip is the CEO and founder of Kulbi, which kind of has two brands he's been able to work with, that being the Black Box as well as the Vault. We'll talk to Philip not only about what it's been like for him as an entrepreneur to do what he loves, but also what it's been like for him to be able to fill a need and be able to satisfy customers along the way. Philip, really appreciate the time today. Thanks a lot for stopping by.
Thanks, Cyrus, for having me.
So, Philip, I am, for my radio audience, I know I've said now for 18 years, one of the things that inspired me was that Field of Dream adage, if you build it, they will come. And I've been able to build an audience from that. But I love the fact when I was prepping for your segment, Philip, it looks like you were able to see what there was a need for and then to be able to create something for that. So I want to be able to ask you, what has this journey been like for you? To not only be able to be a business owner, but to know that you are satisfying a need of customers.
Yeah, you know, this journey has definitely been probably a roller coaster ride, but very enlightening at the same time. You know, when I first set out for this business, I was actually doing it for an internal need myself. I realized that there just wasn't a lot of advancements or any innovation in my space. And I have a lot of friends as well who are also in the space, and they too voiced the same concerns. So I thought to myself, wait a second, is it possible that I can bring a fresh change into this scenery here? If I can create something that's unique, something that's premium, something that's discreet, and also something that many other consumers would want, right? I did what every entrepreneur does. I interviewed and did a lot of surveys with customers, and it turns out that this is actually something that everyone was looking for. It just, for whatever reason, hasn't come to market yet. So this was kind of my journey throughout this process of me just designing my product and really bringing it to life.
So, Bill, let's talk about especially the Black Box. Talk to us about exactly what it is and also what need it does fill in.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Black Box is a 100% smell-proof stash box. So stash box, as we know, is closely tied to, you know, cannabis industries, but it can be used for a wide array of things. I have customers using it for skincare, perfume, storing their herbs and spices, even when they cook. It's actually quite versatile when I was talking with my customers. And how this really came to be, like I mentioned earlier, was an internal need where, you know, many years ago, back in my university days when I was, you know, exploring cannabis as well, I noticed that there just wasn't a really good solution to this. And one of the biggest issues when people were using cannabis is that it's really the smell that comes from it. Many people don't really enjoy the smell. It's very obvious and noticeable. So I thought to myself, why hasn't really anyone done this to improve upon the stash box and actually make it what it's supposed to do, just securely store your stash? So I spent a lot of time really going to the drawing board, figuring out a technology that works, very practical, simple to use, no fuss, no muss, everything like that. And I decided to also take one step further. I asked myself, why hasn't anyone really improved upon the product itself in terms of materials? You'd always see things like wooden box, ornate, everything like that. It's beautiful to look at, but it's not very practical. So I decided to add a very modern flair to it as well. It's completely coated and armed in a ballistic shell nylon as well.
So a couple of components there that you mentioned, Philip, that I definitely want our audience to get, especially because as we are wrapping up this year and preparing for the next, a lot of people are looking for ways to, one, either to start a business and, what they need to be thinking about when it comes to that, or for those who are already in business, ways to be able to refine their business plan and to be able to look for better ways to service their potential customers. So I love the fact that you didn't just think about the simplistic nature of it. You wanted to be able to stand out. Is this something you've always known when it comes to business, Philip, that in order to be able to be successful, you had to be, for one, unique, but also have something that kind of sets you apart that you can be able to showcase?
Absolutely. If you're not standing out from the crowd, it's going to be a lot harder to really market yourself, to market the product, to actually just grow. When you're talking to other businesses, distributors, when you're trying to tell the customers why your product is the right fit for them, if you don't have a lot of talking points, unique ones at that fact, it's going to be a lot more challenging for you as you grow your business.
And that is why I think conversations like this are so important. So talk to us then about what it's been like for you to see the response in, Philip. When you first introduced the Black Box, what was it like for you to see the way that people were drawn to it?
So at first when I launched it, I wasn't really too sure how big of a splash it'd make, just because it was very different from what you'd see in the typical accessory market. But after a while, when I started having customers, I started getting feedback. People were genuinely very surprised at the product. Not only were they surprised at how well made it was, how discreet it was, but it worked exactly as it was intended to work as. And, the coolest thing was that I realized that a lot of my customers were not your typical cannabis users. It was everyone from every walk of life, from a working professional that may use cannabis that wants to keep their personal and work life separate, to a first-time parent that wants to keep it from their curious little 3-year-old from accidentally stumbling upon it. So over time, as people started to realize that this was starting to become a really good trend towards it, they started spreading the word, and a lot of customers were incredibly happy with what they were receiving.
Yeah. And I think, too, for people who are just hearing about this, we're going to let them know the website here in a bit, Philip, where they can actually go. I think what is so cool now, if they were to go to the website, after we give it to them, there's a discount that's available right now for them to be able to get as well. So I want to talk about marketing because, as you said, it is unique. But yet you've been able to, of course, to be able to get attention for it already. What has that been like for you? How did you decide how you wanted to go about marketing the product?
So marketing has always been the biggest issue as well as the biggest driver for my business and any other cannabis-related accessory brand. They can all speak to it. So one of the biggest things that I knew I needed to do right when I started was actually to move to Amazon, the Amazon channel. And that has been such a massive success for our brand right out the gates, just because 80% of customers that go on Amazon already have an idea of what they want to buy. Not only that, but the buying intent is incredibly high with Amazon. So that was something that we started right off the bat for marketing. This year, we're also going to be doubling down on our socials, IG, TikTok, everything, you name it, as we still see that as a big driver for our growth.
Wow. Amazing. And I love that. I love the fact that you mentioned that about Amazon. It is, I think, one of those places, where literally, like they said, you could basically buy anything and everything there. I mean, so it's great to be able to offer that. So, I think, for anyone who's dealt with challenges this past couple of years, Philip, I have to ask you, definitely all of us have had to make assessments. Have you found that this has been a time for you to have to make refinements as well, or did you find that because you were in the online space that this actually it did not do any damage to your business over the past couple of years?
Yeah, great question here. So I'd say that it was kind of a double-edged sword effect, especially beginning February, March 2020 during the beginning of the pandemic. So yes, we saw our sales increase just because everyone was flocking to online shopping. But the issue here that we were facing was the supply chain, right? Our factories were closed due to COVID, right? A lot of regulation. So that really did put a dent in my business. Everyone was trying to buy my product, but I was out of stock. And it was a good problem to have in a sense, but obviously having those missed sales, especially during the pandemic rush, I really did see that as a challenge. And currently, right now, one of our goals going into 2020 is that we are going to be actually spreading our supply chain to other countries as well, just so that in case anything were to happen, not all our eggs are going to be in one basket.
Wow. Love that. Well, that's going to lead us right into the next question here. But I want to first say, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome entrepreneur Philip Lee to our program today. Philip is the CEO and founder of Kulbi, which creates not only the black box, but also the vault. We've been talking to him not only about how the idea for the black box came about, exactly what it's able to do, but also the other uses for it as well. So I want to talk about that as you're kind of looking forward to the new year, Philip. What should we be on the lookout for?
So in terms of the lookout, for my business, we have a lot of new products coming out. I know right now we're just basically still at 2 SKUs here. However, we realized over time that there was a huge demand for our products and customers wanted more accessories to go with it. So what I did was I actually hired a product designer to help me design very beautiful, very aesthetically pleasing to look at products. But not only that, we are also using very unique materials for every single one of our products. Our new line coming out, we're going to be making it out of nylon resin, which is actually a very lightweight but tough component, has a very high degree melting point. I believe it's 437 Fahrenheit melting point. It's crush-proof, impact-proof, smell-proof. Everything we're bringing into it now, we're trying to basically build an entire ecosystem here where you can have our black box or our bigger brother, the Vault, and then you can have a bunch of smaller accessories with it as well. And whether you want to buy it together or standalone, it will work perfectly. So that's what we're really doing here. We're really just expanding the product line.
You really you took the question almost away from me there, Philip, because when I was reading about the vault, I was really curious about that because I was thinking when you were describing, and I'm sure some of our audience may be thinking the same thing, when you were describing the black box, I thought, wow, I wonder if they're going to be coming up with things just for the home to be able to use to take, odors out of that, out of the house and, that kind of thing. Do you see that also being a part of the expansion, being able to not only just have things like the black box, but also have things that kind of become a part of our everyday life when it comes to removing odor from homes and businesses?
Yeah, that's definitely something we had in mind as well. All our products, we want to make sure it's smell-proof, right? Whatever you use our products for, that is still the core component feature that we want in every single of our products. What we have now, what we have launching down the line. And, it's the reason why a lot of customers love our products. It's really for that core feature, and we know that all too well, so we're not going to take that away.
Awesome. Well, it gives us something to look forward to. Again, everyone, Philip Lee has been our guest, talking with us about his journey that has led to not only the creation of Kulbi, the company he's the CEO and founder of, but also the products they've been able to create, like the black box. So, Philip, where can our audience go for more information and to be able to get their own black box?
Yeah, so you can just visit our site at www.blackboxgoods.com. That's where we grab it. That's where you can grab your products, or you can just visit us on Amazon.com. Just type in Kulbi, Kulbi, and you can grab it there as well, whichever you want.
All right. Philip, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate you dropping by the show and looking forward to having you back on the program again.
Thanks for having me, Cyrus. Take care.
Hey, thank you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.